Well, good afternoon, Rotary International District 7770, and welcome to Conversations with Rotary Action People and your all club call for Wednesday, August 5th. Hope everyone is doing well and hope everyone survived Isaias on Monday here. And my name is Donald Hovis. I'm the host from the Chicora Rotary Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. To bless our meeting today will be Mr. Randy Atkins.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we give thanks this day for the opportunity to meet virtually and to continue service to you, our community, and our clubs. Be with us as we go forth throughout our days and in our endeavors. We give thanks in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you doing that for us. To lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Lee Cannon.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, under one nation, under one God, one nation, indivisible, you put me on the spot, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Hope I got it all right.
Thanks for rolling with it there. We appreciate it. I tell this all the time, and Susan we take credit for this, and she should. But there's one time you can say no to Rotary, and that's when they ask you to join. So thank you very much to Randy and Lee for leading us today. Now we're going to introduce ourselves. And those that were on the call a few minutes ago, I put a little nugget out there and said you were going to have to add something to your introduction that you were going to have to think about. It is super easy, and I'm sure it'll take you all of about 2 seconds. So when I call your name, you're probably on mute. So you first want to unmute yourself when I call your name. Please say your name, your Rotary Club, if you currently are holding a leadership position in your club, and then the final thing, and this is where you want to think. What's been your favorite thing you've made at home during the pandemic? So, and we want to share. And if you have a recipe, you can put it in the chat box, or you can take a picture of the recipe and put it in the chat box, or if someone wants it, please use the chat box for that. All right? So I tell you, based on how I see you on my screen, and Terry said it earlier, would Mary go first? And Mary goes first because I see her first on my screen. So Mary, take it away.
This is so easy. Mary Gask, 5 Points Rotary Club. I do not have a leadership position in my club. However, I do have a leadership position with the district, and that's Public Image Chair. And what I have enjoyed the most since the pandemic is I have no clue. Ken does the cooking. That's easy. I don't cook. So there you go. Sorry, guys.
And our speaker, which we'll introduce him in a moment, but I want him to at least take a moment and answer those questions. How about Haresh?
Thank you so much. Yes, so I'm from the Rotary Club of Life, Jamaica. We rebranded recently, and I'm the club treasurer currently. And the thing that, and I'm from District 7020, Northern Caribbean, and the island of Jamaica in particular. And my hometown is Montego Bay. And the thing I made at home is I made a vegan vegetable sandwich with a bunch of flavors from different parts of the world. And it became a fusion explosion in my mouth. And that was something I really enjoyed. Thank you. Good to be here.
Excellent. We're happy to have you with us. Sandy Brooks.
Andy Brooks, the Hilton Head Island Rotary Club. I hold a position in the district, and that is Global Scholarship Chair. And the best thing that I've made since the pandemic is my pimento cheese tomato pie with beef short ribs.
Wow. Getting all fancy on us over here. How about District Governor Pauline?
I am from the Myrtle Beach Club, and currently I have no title within the club to free me up to do so much more for the district. So my classification is hospitality, and the best thing I made was everything left over from the refrigerator and some kind of lemon caper sauce. Can't even tell you what it was, but it was good.
Excellent. Mr. Lou Mello.
Good morning or afternoon. Lou Mello, Mount Pleasant Rotary. I'm the Club Foundation Chair for the last 21 years. And in the district, I am the chair of the Rotary Youth Exchange Group. And something I made during the pandemic is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yay.
All right, up next, you've heard from her already, but Lee Cannon.
Good afternoon, Lee Cannon, North Charleston Breakfast Rotary. We're the early birds. I haven't made it, but my husband did, and forgive me, it's going to sound like I might be an alcoholic, but he made an awesome mocha martini. It's my dessert every night.
A mocha martini. That sounds, you ought to post a picture. If you have a picture, use the chat box. That'd be cool to look at.
Okay.
Oh, my friend, fellow Chicora Rotarian, Mr. Mark Smith. Did you just join? Did you hear what you need to say?
Yes, I did. Chicora Rotary Club. I've been the foundation chair, like Lou, for the last 24 years. And the best meal I did was that we grilled shrimp and also had corn on the cob on the grill as well.
That sounds really good. All right, Mr. Randy Atkins.
Hi there.
Yes, there you go.
Randy Atkins. I am president-elect of the Sea Island Rotary Club Beaufort and chair of our Public Image and Public Relations Committee. During this pandemic, I've been trying to get a house built, but also trying to perfect baby back ribs on the barbecue. So quick, easy recipe in the oven and then on the grill and smoking, and then lather it up with our favorite Seaside Shores barbecue sauce.
Sounds delicious. Thank you, sir.
It is good.
How about the Terrards?
Morning all. Well, a bit like Lee, I do a lot of cooking in our family, but it starts with a gin and tonic. It doesn't really matter what it tastes like.
There you go.
We're from Hilton Head. Susan was with me, of course.
Probably ends with a gin and tonic too.
Absolutely.
Or a Virgil Cane.
We have happy hour scheduled on August 20th at 5 o'clock. I hope you guys are there. So you can bring your gin and tonics, your mocha martinis, your Virgil Canes, and whatever else you want to bring. How about Bill Summers? Come off of mute, sir. Come off of mute, sir. You're on mute. Terry, can you unmute him, please? Terry, can you unmute Bill, please? Bill Summers, please.
Bill, if you're on a desktop, just hold your space bar down and speak.
No, sir, we cannot hear you. No, sir. We'll come back to you. We'll let you keep working on it. All right. How about Mr. Terry Egan?
Yes, Terry Egan, Carolina Forest Sunrise Rotary Club. I'm the immediate past president. Best job in Rotary, right? I also serve on the district membership committee as well as the public image committee for the district. I don't know why, but I've had this hankering for peppers lately. So I've been making these grilled stuffed peppers with sausage, sun-dried tomatoes, cheese, bacon, onion, and cream cheese, all done on the grill. It's amazing.
I'm coming over for dinner. How about Mr. Paul Walter?
Paul Walter in the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island. I guess our club position would be an assistant chairperson of Early Act, which I still am happy to be involved with that. And then district governor-elect as far as the district position. And my favorite meal I just put in the chat box was from last week when we made beach shrimp with shrimp from Merle's Inlet. So it is very good and very easy.
Thank you for sharing the recipe, sir. How about, I believe this is Craig Curry here.
It is Craig Curry from Spring Valley Rotary, and I don't currently hold a position. I haven't made any real food. My wife tends to do that, but I have made a rock patio in the backyard.
Oh, sounds good. Now, a second ago, I saw Bill Summers was off of mute. So I'm going to ask, can you come off of mute again?
Am I off?
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm with the St. Matthews Rotary Club. I've been a member for 53 years. And I've enjoyed my garden with the bacon, lettuce, and fresh tomato sandwiches. If you haven't tried them, I know you have. They were wonderful. It's great to be here at the meeting here today. We haven't met since early or late February, so it's been a long time for our club. So I look forward to getting back together again. We've got about 30 members, a wonderful club, been around since 1961. So, you know, we have, it's just a fun time. So if you're ever in St. Matthews or Calhoun County, come visit with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. How about Bo Forshee? Bo, you're on mute, sir.
Bo Forshee, and I'm with the Surfside Beach Area Rotary Club. And the only thing I've made is my way up to Highlands, North Carolina, where it is cool to listen and watch y'all.
Well, thank you for being here, sir. How about Paula Matthews?
Paula Matthews. I'm with Spring Valley Rotary Club, and I'm the current district foundation chair for our district. And I believe maybe that Bill Summers is slightly related to Penny. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes. So, oh, and the Barefoot Contestant and I've been fast friends since March. And my favorite thing I've tried thus far is very easy dessert of vanilla ice cream and limoncello.
Sounds delicious. How about John Cowan?
Well, Charleston Rotary, no leadership position. And since this crisis began, my wife and I, because we've had the time, we've been baking bread. And so far we've made about 45 loaves of bread since the end of March, and of all different types.
Great. Thank you for that. Mr. Bob Gross.
Bob Gross with the Sea Island Rotary Club, and in our club I'm the blood drive chair, where we have about 5 blood drives a year and collect about 100 units of blood, can save up to 300 lives every year, so we're pretty happy with that. I'm the district governor nominee. During the pandemic, I got a very early start planting the tomato garden. We put the tomatoes in early March. They were a banner crop in June, and I've got we had Cherokee purples, black crims, a whole bunch of heirloom tomatoes, and just in the last 2 weeks I have the fall crop in, 10 beautiful plants growing well, and we should be eating tomatoes by mid-November, I hope. And that's just some great eating.
Thank you, sir. David Lee. David, you're off mute. We can't hear you, sir. Not able to hear you, sir. All right, David, we'll come back to you. How about Sue Poss?
Hi, this is Sue Poss. I'm past district governor in 7750, where I'm a member of E-Club of the Carolinas, live in North Myrtle Beach. I'm not sure what the question was about food, but I'm not a cook, so I've been looking for all the takeout places open in North Myrtle Beach during this period.
These have been very popular as well. Brenda Austin.
Good morning. I am Brenda Austin with Rotary Club of Orangeburg Morning Club. And I wasn't sure what the question was because I just got on.
All right. It's the favorite thing you made during the pandemic.
I'm not really a cook, but I've cooked because I'm the only one here. Just trying to do whatever I can just to survive. But I have been doing a lot of small home improvements. So I've been painting and I've been changing things. So I'm excited about that more so than cooking.
Well, thank you. David, let's try you again. David Lee. Yep, still not able to hear you, David. All right, and guys, as I said earlier, Donald Hovis, I'm the current president of Chicora Rotary in Myrtle Beach. I'm also on the Public Image Committee for the district, especially doing social media for clubs. And my favorite thing is if you enjoy tacos and you put everything on top of the chips, put that in a crock pot, let it simmer all day, and then serve it over cauliflower rice. They call that taco stew. It's phenomenal. So love that. Now, I will tell you guys, everyone should be on mute at this point. If you're not, please mute yourself. We are pleased to be joined by a very special guest and a friend of our district. I will say I had the pleasure of meeting Haresh in Hilton Head at the district conference for David Terrard, and an amazing speaker. So Haresh, welcome back to District 7770, sir.
It's really good to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Yes, sir. So quickly, just introduce yourself and tell folks a little bit about you.
Yeah, certainly. So Haresh Ramchandani is my name. I'm from Montego Bay, Jamaica. I am 46 years old, past governor of District 7020, which is the Northern Caribbean. Our district has 10 countries, 16 islands, 86 Rotary clubs. And Jamaica, the island I'm from, has 28 Rotary clubs. And I'm in Montego Bay, which currently has 2 Rotary clubs. I've been in Jamaica for almost all my life. I was born in India. I came to Jamaica when I was 8 months old, and I went to school here, and I've done business here all my life. I have been here. And it's joined Rotary, let's see, 1997. So that's about 23 years ago. And it's been a wonderful journey. A lot of experiences of development. Personally, I finished my formal education at high school. And so pretty much everything I learned has been through Rotary. That's why I'm so passionate about leadership, because all the development that I had that took me into life, took me into business, was really all because of the exposure I was blessed to have by somebody inviting me to join a Rotary Club. So it's good to be here, good to share thoughts with you, and that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
And I'll say, when Haresh, we got to hear from you at the district conference there was one kind of nugget that you said, and I want you to say it again for those that are on here, but I've taken this since then and frequently use it, but it's the website called POA Photos.
Yeah, and that wasn't even something formal, right? POA Photos, that was a Rotarian that really did it. And it just shows you the power of each one of us able to take an idea and make it work for all of us. In fact, if you think about what Rotary is, it's just a bunch of individuals coming together, right? With a common goal. to make our world a better place and really have a good time while we're doing it. And so here it is, somebody just created something that started out as a Rotary program, People of Action, a public image program that Rotary launched. And because it was web-based and it was difficult trying to customize it, somebody just created an easy version, POA Photos, and it's web-based, but it's easy to use like app, and people started using it. So that's just one example of so many others out there across the world that people and Rotarians are launching to make things simpler and easier. So Donald, that's a good mention.
Yeah, see, I remember what you say, and that's been several years ago. So I know you're going to talk a little bit today. We're going to give you some questions about leadership and some things about impact and some things about public image. But I wanted to start off and open it to you and say, is there anything like a burning desire that you need to say right now before we get to the questions that for those viewers, they're like, this is going to lead to more? Is there anything?
So I think the questions will help me share with you the various points on Rotary that I'm passionate about. But I will just say one thing. As you know, we've not been growing as an organization. We've been at 1.2 for so many years now. I think they're even saying 10, 15, 20 years. I do not believe we have a membership problem. Simple as that. I believe we have a leadership problem in Rotary. And it's on the basis of that why I am so passionate about leadership, because I've seen what it can do, and I've seen I've seen the destruction it makes. And this is not just Rotary, this is organizations across the world, mom and pop shops across the world, and entities and corporate organizations across the world. When you've got strong leadership and good leadership, you see success. And when you don't, you start to see the challenges. And so it's on that basis that I believe if we build a very strong leadership foundation, first and foremost, only then can we do all the good that we're trying to do and to make a stronger organization. So that's what I believe. I don't believe we have a membership problem. I believe we have a leadership problem.
Excellent. Now, I will say for the viewers on here, the chat box is where you want to submit questions. You heard we're going to talk about leadership, we're going to talk about impact, and we're going to speak a little bit about public image and how that all weaves together. So if you have a question for Haresh in those areas, please use the chat box and I will get those out to him. So you say we have a leadership problem. I want you to dive a little deeper. Is that leadership problem from RI down, or what would you say?
Well, Rotary is in the clubs, right? Rotary happens on the ground. Everything we do happens locally, first and foremost. Rotary headquarters and Rotary International, it's just an administrative body that sits down and decide on policy and direction and structure, and I guess to some degree motivation as well. But everything that happens really happens on the ground. And if you look at Rotary as a club, and each club as let's say a franchise of an organization, and you look at how they run, how it's run, how it's operated. When we are asking people to come together, for example, today, there's 23 people, I believe, on the call. When we ask people to give up their time and to come and to join in, I mean, do we even question why we're asking them to do that? What is the purpose? When you sit down and you look at a Rotary Club, and I'm sure you've attended Rotary Club meetings, those that have gone through the role of governor have been to several. And I'm sure they and many others can attest to the fact that when you look at a strong club and then you turn and you look at the leadership, you can see why that club is strong. And when you see a club struggling and you turn to the leadership, you can see why that club is struggling. I mean, we don't say it in as many words. We try to go around and try and say, okay, here's what you can do, here's what you can do. But we don't sit down and talk about the elephant in the room. We don't. Maybe some do, the majority we don't. We try to find other ways, other things that we can say and do, but we don't address it, the root cause of it. And so in a long about way to answer your question, no, it's on the ground level with the Rotary clubs. That's where the leadership challenges are greatest.
So a lot of people said they had a leadership role in their club, and we're glad you're here. Are there some, 3 or 4 points that you would say, hey, to be a stronger club, I would do this, this, and this?
If you focus on this one nugget, I will tell you, I think everything will fall after that. And that is focus on why you're asking people to come together. What I call the value proposition. Why are you asking people to give of their time, their talent, I suppose you could say as well, and of course, their treasure? Why? To come for a lunch meeting or a breakfast meeting, and to come to a service project, and to come to a Zoom webinar. What is the purpose? There's so many things out there that people can be doing. So many options on the table, as I call it, especially now more than ever. I mean, right now you can, if you want to attend a Zoom meeting, you can attend multiple Zoom meetings at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why do I need to give up that time to come to this one, right? What is the value that you're going to be offering me as a Rotarian or as a guest? Because there is a lot of options out there. And I don't think we focus enough time on that. We don't start at the end, for want of a better term, right? Like what is the expectations at the end? What do we want people to leave this gathering, this meeting, this coming together and to do? What is that call to action? What is the expectation when you leave that you're going to leave with a sensation and a feeling of? I don't think we're thinking enough of that. We're just saying, well, we have a purpose. We have to call a meeting because it's a box we have to tick. Okay, we're having a meeting. Let's give this one a roll. Let's give that one a roll. But we don't think about the end and reverse engineering, working backwards and saying, well, if this is what we're trying to achieve, how are we going to achieve it? And I think if we did more of that, if we spent more time focusing on the end result, we would have created a better environment, a better experience for our attendees. And if people have a good experience and an enjoyable experience and a value-based experience, they will even tell their friends and their colleagues and their family to join in as well, because we want that for others. When we have something good and we experience it nice, when you watch a good movie and you enjoy that good movie, don't you tell your friends, hey, you got to watch that TV show, you got to watch that movie? Why do we do that? Because it's humanity, it's that good humanity. We want to share good things, successful things, value-driven things. And when we don't have a good experience, we don't share that with anybody. And similarly with Rotary. If you're enjoying your Rotary experience and your guest comes and enjoys that Rotary experience and they get value from that club meeting or that gathering or that event or that service project or that fellowship, they're going to tell others. They're going to share it.
Would you say engagement would help with that?
Absolutely. So I mentioned in the beginning, my Rotary Club rebranded, right? So we were the Rotary Club of Montego Bay East. And so we met as a group and we were having a lot of challenges. A lot of the older members retired, some passed away. Many couldn't come back to the club meetings in the evenings. And of course, Zoom catapulted us 5 years in the future, right? So we're able to now do things using technology that we couldn't before. We could get speakers that we couldn't get before. We could have experiences that we probably couldn't do before. And so we came together as a group and we asked our membership, well, what it is that you want out of Rotary? Let's start at the end, as I just mentioned. Let's go to the end. What is the outcome? And they said when we came together, I guess you could call it a visioning exercise. There were 4 things that came out that our members wanted from Rotary. They wanted leadership development. They wanted impact, doing service. They wanted fellowship, and they wanted engagement. And if you look at it, these 4 things was the acronym LIFE. And so we're like, you know what? This is going to be a daily reminder to ourselves of what is the purpose of why we are a part of Rotary. And so we rebranded the Rotary Club of Life. And each of our 4 meetings is dedicated to one of these 4 things. One meeting is all about leadership. One meeting is about impact. One meeting is about fellowship. And one meeting is about engagement. And when we talk about leadership, we keep thinking that it's the president's job every time, or it's that the service project chair's job, or if there's a focus on leadership, the leadership development chair's job. Why? It's each one of our jobs. We're talking about leadership development opportunities. We're talking about the next generation. Why are we not inviting our next generation into our clubs and telling them, you know what, you are going to be the president for the week. You are going to have the opportunity to see what it's like to bring people together, to come up with a program, to come up with a structure. You need to know what it's like to organize people and to create that value base. We're not giving these opportunities, and we have the perfect platform. We have an opportunity of people coming together every single week. If we can put individuals, and it doesn't have to be next generation. When you invite a guest to the club, talk about leadership development by telling them, you know, we're going to ask you to be the chair of our next service project. Me? I'm not even a Rotarian. Exactly. We're developing leaders, and you're in the hot seat. When you go to buy a car, don't you take it for a test drive to see what it's like? Is enough gas? Does the brakes work good? Do the doors open nice? Air conditioning works good? Music sounds good? Similarly, when we're bringing people to Rotary, we need to let them know these are all the options on the table that are going to really, really develop you. So here, we're going to give you the role right now and see what it's like. So there's so many things we could do in a nutshell that Rotary presents itself for us to take advantage of.
So I'll say real quick, and this is kind of going to toot my own horn for a second, is engagement was, as president, was my number one idea, number one goal. Engagement. So I'll give those on the call a nugget. So how we're going to do that is there are folks in our club that don't know everybody in your club. I'm sure we're not the only Rotary club on this call that is an issue. So how are we doing that? We are having a member of the week every single week that they come up front, they get to stand at the podium where the speaker stands, and they get to talk all about themselves to the club. Also, on our Facebook page, they answer a series of questions, get to know you kind of questions. So if you weren't at the meeting, you can still get to know that individual on our Facebook page. So how does those three things, leadership development, impact, in engagement from a public image standpoint, is there something that maybe you're doing in Jamaica that we're not doing here in District 7770?
Well, it's hard to say because we've not visited all the clubs, right, to know what they're doing. But that member highlight you just spoke about, we're doing that as well. It's called Member Spotlight. And I love that. I think it's so important that we showcase our members. You know, when you think about when Paul Harris started Rotary and they used the classification system, they wanted different vocations from the community to be represented in the club, right? And it puzzles me why, as a group coming together, we're not showcasing what we all do. Like, I look around here, I see 23 participants. I don't know what you do. Why don't I know what you do? So what we do in our club meeting, we ask everybody to either put in the chat box, what are you bringing to the table, right? How can you help me this week? And B, what help do you want from me? So I put the other day, I'm trying to sell a motor vehicle, and this is the car, this is the price. Can somebody help me get it sold? That's the help I needed from my Rotarians. And likewise, I will tell them I can help them develop leadership within their organizations professionally. Okay, so that was my give, what I can do for you, and what can you do for me? So this is all engagement as well. Huh? This is development. This is impact. If we're not helping to impact each other, how are we going to help and impact the community as well? And it's not about, oh, we're a closed group set of people and we're not supposed to network. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you are a real estate broker and I'm looking for a real estate broker, wouldn't I be more comfortable turning to my fellow Rotarian first? If I'm going to move to Hilton Head Island and I want to buy a property there for, let's say, a retirement home, am I not going to reach out to the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island first? Because I'm going to be comfortable with them. They're my Rotarians. We're like-minded, and I'm going to turn to them first. Doesn't mean I may do business with them solely, but I am going to turn to them first because I'm comfortable. And that was the whole premise of why Rotary was started. And I just feel that we've kind of gone from one extreme to the other. And maybe we need to find that middle ground that we can celebrate both impact and networking.
And I'll say, Haresh, you're very passionate about what you're talking about, and we're starting to see comments coming through of people saying, loving this, loving this, loving this. I want to tell you guys, we want to add value to you. We want to add value to your Rotary clubs, and we want to add value to our Rotary district, which is why we are doing these very talks right here. So I will say, and I say this a lot, Rotary, you can meet breakfast, you can meet at lunch, you can meet any day of the week. I'm just using this as an example. Rotary is a lot more than lunch on Friday. If you have the mentality that Rotary is just about the time when I get together at lunch and or breakfast and or if you meet in the evenings, let's get you some help. Let's get you some help, because Rotary is so much more, guys, so much more. And you can clearly see it. We have Haresh in Jamaica. Last week we had a gentleman from Egypt. So Rotary is worldwide, and Haresh is very good at what he does. I was blown away by your presentation at the district conference. I've said that 3 times, and I'm so excited that you're with us today. So I want to go to now some questions in the chat box that some viewers have submitted here, Haresh. But I wanted to make sure you knew that you were very appreciated, and I love the passion. Thank you very much. What do you say to members who feel they've served for so many years, now it's someone else's turn and want to support Rotary in a different way?
I think that's a good thing. You know, the beauty is that everybody gets a chance to go through that development. You know, I wouldn't want to be the club treasurer all the time. Somebody else must try that role. So what would I say to someone who's done it and now they're looking for something else to do? I would say, well, what's your passion? What it is you want? Maybe you don't want a role and you want to mentor somebody else. And that's okay. Maybe you could turn to that next generation I spoke about, those Rotaractors and those interactors and those early actors, and bring them into your meeting. Or you go to their meeting and say, well, let's sit down and let me see how you're conducting your meeting. Maybe I can help you. Oh, someone wants to be, I visited an early act club during one of my visits as governor in the British Virgin Islands. And one of the questions I asked him, I said, so what do you guys want to be when you grow up? And so we're talking about 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds. And they, overwhelmingly, they all said they want to be a YouTuber. So right away, I quietly tell myself, what's a YouTuber? I didn't even know that that was a career. I mean, I knew people are doing YouTube videos and some people are making money, but to hear an 8-year-old saying, groups of them saying that that's their career, that's what they're working towards. So I went and researched it myself, like, well, how do you make money on this? You know, of course, it's creating content and advertising and Google giving you a checkoff based on that. But I had to research it, And so if there's somebody that is passionate about, let's just say, content development, that person could become a mentor for those next generations. That's just one example of what you would tell a member, what you would like to do. It doesn't have to be an official role in the club. It doesn't have to be within the club. Why does it have to be a role within the club? Rotary is much more than that. It's about impact, as we said, right? You could be doing things to impact your community without having a role in the club. What's wrong with that? So the point is, it's endless. It's about each individual and where their passion lies. And as an organization, we can find something that can create value for them and create impact for our community very easily.
Yeah, I think mentorship is something that could definitely be a lot better for especially new members, new young members. Like, you want to immediately try to get these guys plugged in some form or way, because that's the reason why they join. They want to make a difference. So absolutely. Let's see. This is a comment here. Just spoke to a fellow Rotarian this week about doing classification talks. I went to the Rotary International page and seek out questions. My club will begin doing this this month. That's great. Brenda's the current president of her club. So way to go, Brenda. TJ, what can I do for you? That's a simple question. You know, what can I do for you? What about club members that balk at any suggestion of doing things differently?
That's always the hard part, right? And it's not just Rotary. That's the problem with organizations across the globe. Again, it's leadership. When it's a leadership problem, because if you've got a situation where your members don't want to change, and you are going to find that probably in almost every Rotary club, at some point they don't want to change. So this visioning exercise is very good for that. If you've never done one, I would highly recommend you look at doing a visioning exercise, because it allows everybody from the most senior member to the newest member to be on equal footing. And everybody gets to share their thoughts, everybody gets to vote on those thoughts, and everyone can see the results of that. And at the end of it, when you look at it, you tell the member that I don't want to change and say, okay, that's fine. Why don't we try this? And if it doesn't work, we can always go back. We're not throwing away our tradition. As I love to say to people, we don't own our traditions. You know, we control them. We can do what we can. If it doesn't work, we can change it. So that's important to remember. Just because it's always been that way doesn't have to be, we continue doing it that way. And this visioning exercise is very eye-opening, because they will see, based on the results of that exercise, of the direction that the members want to try. And I think they will, I find it very hard to believe that they wouldn't want to try something. If you do it properly and you show them that the members are, or they want to try this particular direction, I would be very shocked if they put their foot down and says, well, I'll be damned, I don't want to do that. I've done a few visioning exercises and they always say, okay, let's try it.
All right, and I want to go now. When you came to Hilton Head, I'm going back and remembering some things. There's you do a lot of videos. Are there's some things, some like public image, you know, nuggets. Hey, this is what we currently do. Maybe people are already doing them. Maybe they're not, but maybe it leaves somebody with a takeaway from today.
Yeah, certainly. So public image is big. We want to get the word out there. We want to let people know what we're doing. And there's a website called Canva. I'm sure many of your clubs are using it. But for those of you who are not, it's free. And if you're a nonprofit, you can get the pro version for free. And Canva is what a lot of clubs are using for public image right now, for social media. You can create graphics. They make it so easy. They just really give you the templates and you can just change the input. You can now animate it, so you get video out of it. So that's great for getting word out there for your club meetings. Hang on, am I allowed to share screen? I actually have Canva open right now. I'm gonna quickly share the screen if you don't mind. And I'll kind of show you some of the things. Like this is the one we created for when past President Barry visited the club. And you can just click this button right here that says animate, and it will animate the whole graphic for you. You know, you see, it just creates it. It's so easy. And there's so many things, you know, when we wanted to do the graphic for the new leadership, there you go right there, we just created it. So there's many things you can do with Canva. I would highly recommend you use that. In fact, I think district is having a public image webinar on Canva that you can probably log on to. That's a great way. As far as video is concerned, I've always said video, the click link or the viewership on video is far greater than photo, far greater. It's not even close. So if you have an opportunity to share a message, use video. And now if you're using Facebook Video Direct, you can actually do the subtitles. They will put in the subtitles for you. You don't even have to have much effort in doing that as well. So there's a lot of easy options out there. There's a website called Video, Veedio. There's videos. All of these are free. And there's Cressy now. I mean, there's so many. They're just trying to make it easy for you. Like in the past, I could say you have an excuse. You don't have an excuse anymore. There's a lot of customizable, easy to use templates out there to make video and photos very accessible. Highly recommended, because if you just put a text, you may get a few clicks. If you put a photo, you get more. If you put video, you get even more. I mean, the data tells us that. So it's a little bit of effort. I get it. It's everything in life worth doing. There's a little bit of effort involved, but the reward is far greater. So I would recommend you use that.
And I'll echo your comment on that webinar about Canva. So if you're on Facebook, there's a Rotary group that is called, we're part of Zone 33 and 34. So the Facebook group is Rotary Zones 33 and 34. There's a post inside of that group that I believe the president or somebody from Canva is actually going to be doing this webinar for our zone, I guess. August 24th is the date. So plug that in. There's information inside of that group on how you sign up and all this other stuff, but it's in the Rotary Zones 33 and 34 Facebook group. It's not a page, it's a group. I will say to the viewers here, any final questions you want to submit in the chat box for Haresh? We'll see here, Haresh, if anything comes over. But I want to say thank you again for taking time to be with us. It's always good to see you. A lot of people now are saying, well done, thank you. So we do appreciate it.
My pleasure. Good to be here, everybody. I'll leave with you with one quick thought. So I'm sure you're familiar with John Maxwell, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he has this quotation called the single biggest way to impact an organization is to focus on leadership development. I love that line. And I think it is absolutely true. And if we focus more on leadership development within Rotary, we'll be able to do more impact, more service, more fellowship. We'll be able to have more engagement, bring in more members. All of that will come. But if it's weak, if the club is weak to begin with, you're going to struggle. So even your governor is on, Pauline. I'm sure she's been doing her visits. I'm sure she can attest to some of the strong ones and some of the weaker ones. So yeah, focusing more on leadership development, I think will truly impact our organization in a positive way.
Well, thank you again, Haresh. And to the viewers here on Zoom and on Facebook, thank you again for being with us. I will remind you, we do these calls 3 times a week. Mondays at 11, Wednesdays at noon, and Friday at 11. This Friday, if you're watching us on Facebook right now, you will not be able to watch us on Facebook on Friday. We also record all of these conversations and post those to the district YouTube channel. We will not be recording Friday's call either. Now you're probably saying, why are you not doing recording? Why are you not posting? Our speaker is an author who has strongly asked no recordings and no postings. So if you want to listen to our speaker on Friday, you have to come in through the Zoom link. You'll still get an email as a reminder the morning of with how you join. But if you don't get that or you don't see that, you can always find the login information on the front page of DACDB. One final announcement is August 20th. That is going to be the happy hour for our month of August. It's at 5 o'clock. Information for that is also in DACDB. So we want you to bring those gin and tonics and mocha martinis. And if you watch Monday's CWRAP, all those craft beers, maybe some Holy City Pluff Mud, some Chambay Blue Reserve. I'm trying to remember all these names. But those are some important dates for you coming up. So, Haresh, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Hey, Donald.
Yes.
Tell them who's speaking on Friday.
Okay, so the speaker on Friday, I'm pulling up your email, his name is Gary Powers Jr. He's the author of Spy Pilot. So we look forward to hearing from Gary on Friday at 11. Thank you for that, Mary. I appreciate that. I will conclude with the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's a wrap for Conversations with Rotary Action People for Wednesday, August 5th. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.